Welcome to our channel, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for tuning in to our show. Ladies and gentlemen, for about 1 week now, the Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua has been missing in action. Many bloggers, political pundits, and experts, and many bloggers have taken to the stage to try and explain just what might have happened that informed the decision by Rigathi Gachagua to keep off the state activities. And we all understand that questions started, people started asking questions when William Ruto declared the 10th of May a public holiday, and he ordered Kenyans to plant trees in memory of the Kenyans who had been swept away by floods. And each and every cabinet secretary, each and every government official was assigned a designated area where he would preside over planting of trees. Rigathi Gachagua was supposed to go to Bomet, and that is where he was to oversee the tree planting event. And Rigathi Gachagua did not attend. We will come back to this tree planting event because it is the cause of Rigathi Gachagua missing in action. And then we are told that when the president of Uganda visited Kenya for 3 days in a state visit, Rigathi Gachagua was nowhere near Museveni. When Museveni jetted in, he was ushered in by Chief Cabinet Secretary Musalia Mudavadi, and he stayed here for 3 days. Rigathi Gachagua was nowhere. And when he was leaving, instead of Rigathi Gachagua seeing him off, it was the Transport Cabinet Secretary Murkomen and Raila Amolo Odinga who took up that role. And experts have also realized that when William Ruto met the KTDA directors to look into matters bedeviling the tea industry, a role that Rigathi Gachagua had been assigned as a deputy president, he was missing in action and he was nowhere to be seen. Ruto decided instead to delegate that duty now to Felix Kosgei. And then William Ruto was meeting the European Union investors. This is also another role that William Ruto designated to Rigathi Gachagua because he was given the role of international partnership engagement. He was supposed to be there overseeing what was happening. He was missing in action, ladies and gentlemen. Then we are told that there was the swearing in of the new High Court judges. That one too was never attended by Rigathi Gachagua. And Kenyans have been asking what exactly is happening. People have speculated how he's being frustrated in the government and reasons why Rigathi Gachagua could have been vexed by the activities from the office of the president. But NTV is giving a shocking revelation that on this particular day when Rigathi Gachagua was supposed to fly to Bomet to oversee the exercise of tree planting, he requested for a military chopper. But a senior aviation official told him that he had instructions from above not to release military choppers to politicians. And then Rigathi Gachagua tried to acquire a private chopper, 2 private choppers. But the owner of the chopper demanded for an upfront payment, which I believe Rigathi Gachagua was not prepared for because he knew he would fly in a military chopper. Rigathi Gachagua then, in frustration, decided to demand an explanation from the office of the president, because when an aviation official tells you that he's got orders from above not to release choppers to politicians, then you know that the only orders that can be given against Gachagua is from the office of the president, because Rigathi Gachagua is our number 2. So he confronted the office of the president, and that is how things started falling apart. Ladies and gentlemen, kindly subscribe to our channel if you're watching us for the first time. Click the notification bell to allow YouTube to notify you. I want to thank you for your support to this channel. To make matters worse, ladies and gentlemen, Rigathi Gachagua has switched off his phone. Neither the constituents in Nyeri nor the friends outside Nyeri know his whereabouts. And I'm wondering, is our deputy president safe wherever he is? And I know the immediate answer that one would want to give me is that we don't care whether he's safe or not. But then it is a question that is worth asking. Many political pundits have taken to the podium to explain perhaps why Rigathi Gachagua seems to be detached from the UDA. Of late, you've seen him a little bit detached, and that's why he has missed 11 state events. But then the obvious question, because what I want us to discuss here is not the reason. In this video, I want us to explain something here. Did you ever imagine that one day you would wake up to headlines that Rigathi Gachagua is missing in action, is missing activities, is not being seen near his boss? If you ask me that question, the answer is yes. But then I did not expect that it would come this early. You know, Uhuru Kenyatta and William Ruto fell out, but in their second term. So I thought maybe they would tolerate each other until their second term. Theirs has really come so early. When William Ruto took Rigathi Gachagua as his running mate, the first question that they were confronted with was, what is your relationship going to be like? And William Ruto said that he had learned from their relationship and how they ran the government with Uhuru Kenyatta. So he learned from experience and he would not allow any kind of differences to come between them and his deputy. And on his part, Rigathi Gachagua explained that as a DO, he had learned to say yes, sir, to his boss. And of course, you've seen Rigathi Gachagua trying to play loyalty card. You heckle William Ruto, he tells you, you will have me to contend with if you want to heckle our president. But then what has really happened? We can move very fast and explain, for example, that Rigathi Gachagua is being frustrated. Rigathi Gachagua is being denied a chopper, a military chopper, when he's about to travel for a tree planting event. Then how did maybe the office of the president expect him to fly to Bomet? There's a question that is only tantamount to frustration. Rigathi Gachagua has got Ndindi Nyoro and Moses Kuria to contend with in his ambition to become the Mount Kenya kingpin. And it is known now by every political expert that Ndindi Nyoro and Moses Kuria, together with Kimani Chungwa, are sponsored by William Ruto himself to ensure that Rigathi Gachagua does not grow horns, to create several powerhouses, so that Rigathi Gachagua should not try to imagine that he is the one and only. So why now? And that is the question that I want to try and answer, because I know there are several reasons, maybe in terms of appointments, frustrations, and all those explanations that many political pundits have engaged in. Mine is to answer this question. Why now? Why the agreement? Why the disagreement now? Because all these things, whether he's being frustrated, whether appointments are not made according to his liking, whether he's frustrated about Ndindi Nyoro that William Ruto is sponsoring, the whole thing is frustration. And so the question is, why is William Ruto frustrating Rigathi Gachagua? Ladies and gentlemen, I want to tell you that the differences between Rigathi Gachagua and William Ruto it was forthcoming. But now it has come so early and it has been exposed. And I will give you reasons why it has been exposed. Number one, Rigathi Gachagua was never a first choice of William Ruto as a running mate. This is in the public domain. When the UDA brigade was voting for someone to depute as William Samoei Ruto, it was Kithure Kindiki who was given that mantle. But for some reasons, William Ruto decided to overlook Kithure Kindiki and appointed Rigathi Gachagua. You saw how Rigathi Gachagua sponsored demonstrations from Nyeri. He's a go-getter. But maybe in his mind, William Ruto never imagined that a time would come when he would see the real Rigathi Gachagua. He looked at Rigathi Gachagua and he thought, this is a first-time member of parliament from Madeira, and maybe he does not know how to play these higher politics. So the fact that Rigathi Gachagua was never his choice will tell you that it is the reason why William Ruto is frustrating him. That is the reason why in Uhuru-Ruto coalition, Uhuru said, kumira kumira, kumi yangu, kumi yako. And so William Ruto was running with a tag because Uhuru had said it in full glare of camera that I will do my 2 term and I will leave, I will support you for another 2 term. And so when he betrayed William Ruto took that and went and sought for sympathy. For Rigathi Gachagua, there wasn't such an agreement. He was never first choice. It is like a forced marriage. Number two, Ruto is not keen on handing over power to the Kikuyu nation. I can assure you. Because if William Ruto wanted to hand over power to the Kikuyu nation, he would easily tolerate Rigathi Gachagua, do their 1st term, then prepare as they go for the 2nd term. That is when he will be preparing who to hand over power to. Because in Kenya, you've realized that power is handed over to the person that the military, the IEBC, the Supreme Court, and the US want. Basically, a higher deep state. But Ruto has said in one of his clips that if you think that you have a problem with the Kikuyu nation, we have a problem. And he was talking on behalf of the Kalenjin. And he said in that clip that for us to deal with the problem that we have with the Kikuyu nation, we have to take power first. Then we will have to deal with it. Now that he is in power, William Ruto would rather give power as he lives, maybe to Kalonzo Musyoka or Mudavadi, because he does not want to give the Kikuyu nation this mantle. You can take this to the bank. And as we approach 2027, if by any chance William Ruto will get that mantle, if he goes for his 2nd term with the Kikuyu deputy, I can assure you that that deputy will be frustrated. Wacha hii ya Gachagua, that deputy will be frustrated because William Ruto does not want to pass the mantle to the Kikuyu nation. Many have argued that if there is one person who exposed the Kikuyu nation, is William Samoei Ruto. For a very long time, the Kikuyu nation said they speak with one voice. But William Ruto is the person who came and set up leaders and supporters from Kikuyu against their own son, Uhuru Kenyatta, before, during, and after election. He set them to invade their Northland farm. He set them to steal the cattle. He set them to frustrate him. So I want you to understand that it is being exposed now because he's not keen. Number three, Raila's silence is very key, and that is why you can see this being exposed. I have explained that this was forthcoming. It was supposed to go maybe towards towards the end of their 1st term or the beginning of their 2nd term. But you see, right now you realize that there is no common enemy. When Raila used to go to the streets, they would have something to talk about. Both Ruto, Ndindi Nyoro, Kimani Chungwa, Rigathi Gachagua, name them, would have someone to talk about, would have something to tell the Kikuyu nation. Raila wants to come to government through the back door, atuta kubali, any kind of handshake. Raila looked at them and said, okay, I don't want handshake. I'm focusing on my ambition to become the African Union Commission chairperson. So with the vacuum, there is no enemy. The enemy that they knew has gone. They have to look for the real issues now, their coalition. And that is why it has been exposed. In fact, they were never friends from the word go. Rigathi Gachagua is a go-getter. William Ruto is a go-getter. All of them are extrovert. And it was expected. But Raila was hiding the frustration. Raila was helping them to hide their frustrations because they would have a common enemy. They would have someone to wake up every day and talk about. So after Raila stopped the demonstrations, now hakuna kuficha tena, and that is why this has been exposed early enough. Raila's absence, Raila's silence, it has really worked. Number three, this marriage was a false marriage that was built because of one common enemy, Uhuru Kenyatta and Raila Amolo Odinga. They never saw beyond the enemy. They never saw beyond swearing in. Theirs was to hoodwink people here and there, get to power. But they never imagined that, okay, after getting to power, what next? That is why you can see immediately after they took over power, Rigathi Gachagua still was embarking on blaming Uhuru for every predicament. They kept on saying we inherited a dilapidated economy. They kept on saying ni Raila alidanganya Uhuru, tulimpigia kura akatuacha. They felt that we need to run a smear campaign against Uhuru Kenyatta. They never saw beyond Uhuru. After we have taken power, what will we do? They didn't have a plan beyond that. That is why when they are now faced with the reality, Uhuru is no longer in power, Raila is no longer campaigning, he's no longer going for the demonstrations. What next? They have to now wash their dirty linens in public. And Rigathi Gachagua, is a truthful man. He's not a man who will pretend. When things are not going wrong, things are wrong. He will not pretend that things are okay. And if there is one thing that William Ruto will regret is choosing Rigathi Gachagua as a deputy president. Because Rigathi Gachagua is not a passing cloud. You've seen him creating mayhem in the UDA government. When they wanted to go for the UDA grassroots elections, and there were proposals that Gachagua, that they need to have three deputies. Gachagua said, no, I cannot. And he won that battle. They agreed that they would have one deputy party leader, they would have one party leader, one deputy party leader, and then two assistant deputy party leaders. Rigathi Gachagua has also realized that we are equal. That is what he believes. We are equal in this government. That's why he says we are shareholders. So just recently, when he realized that the office of the president had been given allocations to renovate State House and state lodges, he also requested for a big amount for renovation of his current home, the Mombasa residential home come office, and then the Arambe annex. But it seems that someone from the office of the president decided to run a campaign that Rigathi is corrupt, he's seeking for more money. And Ruto has realized that Rigathi Gachagua is not a pushover. He is competing with William Ruto. Unachukua yako, mimi nachukua yangu. He underestimated the power of Rigathi Gachagua. Rigathi anataka ukichukua hii mimi pia ninachukua. Ukipewa pesa ya kutengeneza ikulu, hata yangu ninatengeneza. And this is not going well. It does not hug well with William Ruto. He underestimated Rigathi Gachagua. And now things are falling apart. And this is the reason, ladies and gentlemen, why Rigathi has taken enough frustrations and is saying enough is enough. I'm not going to pretend. And he's seeking for sympathy. It came at a time that was very precarious for Rigathi Gachagua because Limuru 3 was in the offing. And people are asking, are you in support of Limuru 3 or not? Of course, he had said, you come and report to me if there are problems. But Moses Kure is telling him, we don't have to report to you. You have the powers. Can we implement the one man, one shilling, one vote that you say you believe in? So, ladies and gentlemen, why do you think their differences have been exposed so early? For me, the reasons that I've given are inform why their differences have been exposed. Otherwise, if Raila had been there and all this, maybe they would have pretended. But a marriage can never be forced. It takes two to tango. And that is my take.